Y boom, 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 grabando, FENcast, grabando. Today with a special guest. I think you're the first person who, aside from music, has decided to specialize in culinary arts. My good
Oh yeah.
friend from way back in the day, meeting once again, Josh Cruz from Dissident Cuisine. My dude, ¿cómo estamos?
All good, man. Thanks for the intro.
Hey, este, para que la gente tenga un poquito de context.
Mm.
We've communicated a little bit de vez en cuando así through the web via
Yeah.
likes or comments or messages si acaso
Mhm.
since college, principio de colegio.
Yeah. I want to say probably like 2009, 2010.
Yeah, algo
Yeah.
así. Pero de vernos y like having some form of physical, even though this is a physical conversation.
Hmm.
Pero since, yeah, de que you had a bunch of hair y de que yo no
Yeah.
tenía
Yeah.
nada.
Yeah, man. It's all gone.
Se te fue todo aquí y te vino para acá.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It migrated.
ese es el trade-off, ese es el trade-off.
Yeah. I can't complain.
Ah, confía, la barba está majestuosa, vale la pena.
Thanks, man.
So, dude, when we met back in college,
Hmm.
tú también estabas estudiando inglés, right?
Yeah. We're in the same department. I
Yes.
think I was in literature, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yo también lo estaba, so estamos bien. No me se me olvidó todo completo. So, I know that you did, como que continuaste.
Yeah. I went back. I finished in Cora. I did my BA in English as a second language.
Mm. So, más como linguistics or teaching como tal.
Teaching. It's specialized in English, and I mean in teaching English,
Mm.
and it had a certification in technology.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Technology. ¿Por qué
Yeah, like
technology?
technology and multimedia, like for teaching and stuff. Like they wanted to incorporate that as well.
Of course.
Yeah.
Importante, especially nowadays, con esta cuestión.
No,
So,
yeah, definitely.
so you were ahead of the game en esos estudios, por lo menos.
Hmm.
So, when did you decide, hey, I'm gonna study culinary arts?
So I was in colegio. I was working at a restaurant called Nomadas. It was my cousin's business, and I was studying in colegio. And one day I was just like, man, like I'm doing this as a profession. I like it. I'm just studying to get a degree. Like honestly, that was what I was doing at the moment because I had the job that I wanted, culinary arts. So second year of colegio, on the second semester, I was like, I'm done. Like I'm done. I'm gonna go study culinary arts, and I did. Like I dropped off like midway through the semester. I applied for la Escuela Hotelera de San Juan, Jacinto de Mayagüez, and by August, I was already in.
Dope.
Yeah.
Was there a, como que un focus en el cual te dedicaste más? Or was it like an overall education? Or
It was an overall education. It's like a certification. Like it's good, like to learn the basics and having that background because you do get the knowledge of like managing all the stuff, like managing the meats, the produce, all that stuff, being careful of no cross contaminations.
mm-hmm.
So and learning like the basics, like the fundamentals of like mother sauces and cuts and whatnot. Like some of these things I already knew them because I had been working at a restaurant already, but it was a good experience. Like I met some really neat people. I was able to partake in activities that other people didn't get the opportunity to, and I'm super grateful for that. And yeah, like it did help on the long run.
Obligado. Es como a veces pasa que sometimes la educación le da como que ese extra boost o ese extra experience or push
Yeah, man.
que te ayuda en lo que tú quieres overall. Even though you might have
Mm-hmm.
like el groundwork set, Education te ayuda en el proceso.
No, definitely. It definitely did. But nowadays, like, I think the internet is like a great tool. And like, if you do want to get your certification, like, do so. Because, I honestly had no need to, but I wanted it. So, but nowadays, like, with all these like great channels on like Instagram and YouTube, like, you could learn how to cook. It's just a matter of, having that desire or passion for cooking.
Yeah, yeah. Y de explorar diferentes cultures y platos.
Yeah, man. Like, nowadays you don't really need, like, it's good to travel. That's the best way to experience like authentic, like, ethnic meals. But you could also use the internet to experience them, because a lot of the stuff that I do, I've learned online. Like, I haven't visited like the countries.
De hecho, creo que es tu Instagram personal, que es Buddhist Chef, I believe.
Yeah, Buddhist underscore chef PR or something like that.
Yeah.
Buddhist chef underscore PR.
Is it too big of an assumption for me to make that algo que más te encanta cocinar sería Oriental food or some form of it?
So you could say that my go-to is like comfort food and Asian cuisine. Like, having that combo of like traditional comfort food, like mac and cheese, burgers, and like that traditional stuff. But what really calls me is Asian food. I'm constantly like trying new stuff, looking for different recipes, and just trying to expand my knowledge in that realm.
Gotcha. No, y por lo que yo he visto en algunos de los videos, like, que again, goes hand in hand con el nombre de your work, Dissident Cuisine. You kind of mesh both styles, and you're going against the norm, if you could say, del traditional plate. So, ¿cómo fue que se dio el concepto de Dissident Cuisine y how have you been evolving it a través del tiempo?
Yeah, it's been a crazy ride. It still hasn't been a full year since Dissident Cuisine came out, but the original concept started, I want to say, about 2018, 2019-ish, December. Yeah, I think it was December 2018, if I'm not mistaken. I started doing like these dinner parties with like some really good friends. I started experimenting, just, trying to get creative and be like, hey, let's do this, let's do that. And I tried not to repeat anything that I made, like, I still remember the first time that I did one of the dinner parties. I made like these coffee rubbed ribs, and they're like, man, you should do them again. And I'm like, no, because exactly, like, let's keep experimenting, like, keep doing like all these different things. Then the pandemic hit, the lockdown, that was intense. And I was like, how do I channel this creativity? Like, I have all this time. What am I going to do? So I decided to, start posting every day, like every meal that I made. I was like, I'm just going to, just to have fun, I'm going to start cooking every day. When I'm done, I'll just put up a photo and whatnot. So that became a thing. And I missed having my personal account, Buddhist Chef, because before, posting like food related stuff, it was a personal page. So I wasn't like posting like random things or anything. It was just food related. And about, I think it was July-ish, like mid-July. I was like, man, like, I want to start a new page. I want to start something from zero. And I was dating like this, chick back then, and we're just spitballing names. I'm like, man, I don't know what to name the page. And she came up with it. Like, she was like, how about Dissident Cuisine? And I'm like, I love the sound of it, but I don't know. Like, I don't think it's going to be as a catchy of a name. Like, I'm going to sleep on it. And then I was like, yeah, that's it. Like, it sounds amazing. Why am I, going against it? Yeah. Like, it sounds amazing. So I went with that. And I had already cooked a meal with some friends. I had made a vegan pizza, like what's it called? Gluten-free vegan pizza and regular vegan pizza. So with that, I kicked off the page. And after that, I tried to keep on working with it. I did not do videos once I opened Dissident Cuisine. Like I stopped like making videos because I was working at this like really good Asian restaurant here in the West. And it was taking a huge chunk of my time. And I loved it. Like I genuinely loved that job. But yeah, I started missing it. It got to the point where I had to put the page on hold. Like I would rarely post because I was just committed to the restaurant, and it was worth it. Like I don't take it back, but it did set back what I wanted to do with the page.
Yeah. De hecho, ya
So
continue.
no, go ahead.
No, ya que mencionó que you were working on the restaurant, I guess this would be more of a long-term thing, but do you see yourself continuing working for a restaurant, or do you want to have something of your own in the future?
So I personally, I want to have like food related businesses on the long run. Like I am working Dissident Cuisine. Eventually I want to monetize that. I want that to expand, because it's my passion. Like that page is my passion, but I also want to translate it to actually having a place where people could enjoy food, not just only like learning, which is amazing because I think it's an amazing learning tool for the people that do watch and do want to try it, or they just want to get a kick out of it, But I want to translate that to also getting the chance to try the food that I make.
Obligado. Crear ese espacio for people to also interact, because that's also part of the restaurant experience. Como que, ¿cuánta gente le encantaría just go out ahora mismo to a restaurant sin tener que preocuparse por la mascarilla? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, man. Like over here, it hasn't affected as much the restaurant businesses. It has, but when you compare it to like New York, that a bunch of restaurants, like really good restaurants, have closed their operations because they can't, maintain, their doors open.
No,
and I was,
más con esos precios, like rental space.
Yeah, that's it. That's mostly it. The rental spaces are extremely expensive. So even though they are making money, they aren't making the money that they should be making, in order to maintain that operational cost.
Yeah. Te quería preguntar, para la gente que no sepa, you were also like demonstrating part of your weight loss journey. So
yeah,
as a chef, how do you find the balance between let me not cook something that is extremely fatty while also while losing weight, How's that mental battle going on?
So right now, you might judge me for the response, but I'm just making whatever I want. What my mindset is, I work out sometimes once a day, sometimes twice, even up to 3 times a day, depending on the day. So what I try to do is try and maintain a caloric deficit. Right now, mine is around like 2,500 per day. So I guesstimate it. It's not that I'm like, oh no, I can only eat this, but like you get an idea of how much calories your food is taking in and how much you're putting out as well with the workout, because you do burn out a bunch of calories. So I try to just not overindulge. That was probably my biggest flaw back then, because I'd be like, oh, this is good. Like, I'm not working out, but this is good. Let me have some more,
Yeah. Fuck it. Let's go.
So, yeah. It's like, oh, you only live once, man.
Totally,
So yeah.
So ahora I'm like maintaining a balance between
Yeah.
the food and the exercise and whatnot.
Yeah. Just try and find that middle ground of working out and cooking. Also, a lot of this is something that has stayed with me. I don't know if you know them from YouTube, Brothers Green.
No.
Okay, so it's this, like, I think they're brothers if I'm not mistaken. So they had this cooking channel. Now it changed. Now they're called Pro Home Cooks, and it's just one of them. But back then, when it was them two, they started doing this whole change of like eating healthier, working out kind of thing. And they addressed it. They were like, man, like a lot of people worry about, oh, what am I gonna eat? Like I can't eat this anymore. I'm trying to lose weight. But when you're cooking, you're also doing prep. You're moving around the kitchen. You're doing stuff. So even though you probably aren't burning calories to the level of working out, you're still working for your meal if you're cooking, So like that.
Y si estás en un environment profesional, like como una cocina pro, el calor que se acumula, asumo que...
Yeah, man, like I got an iPhone like a few months ago. I had like an older phone, and I got a newer one, and I figured out that it counts your steps. And I started looking back to when I was working at the restaurant. And I was like, man, like, yeah, man, I wouldn't stop. Like I would clock in, let's say, on a slower day that I didn't have like those long shifts, I would start at 4. And since I walked in, I was like back and forth, like trying to get, it wasn't 4, it was 3. I'm sorry. From 3:00, trying to get everything ready for 4 before service. And then in service, man, it's just go, trying to get that food out.
Yeah. I have 2 friends that they used to work in bars. Y por estar haciendo eso mismo, like, a cada rato pasaban los 10,000 pesos que se piden diario. Como que, yeah, in a bar. That does happen, my friend.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So, yeah, man, where I was at, like, it was a small space. Like, it's one of the best restaurants in Aguadilla right now. But yeah, like, it was a small space. Like, you wouldn't think you would be walking back and forth so much.
Asumo que también como que you're working so much, se te van las horas y you don't even, no prestas atención y pues.
Yeah. Nah, man. Sometimes I would clock in 9 a.m. and it was 9:00 at night and I was still there.
Damn, dude.
So yeah.
Te imagino cuando veas los steps, era como que, shoo.
Yeah.
I deserve this big meal.
No, and believe it or not, like at the restaurant, even though I was walking a lot, like back and forth, I gained a bunch of weight, man.
Oh, dude.
Like, yeah. Like I had gained a bit of weight like throughout the pandemic, because before the pandemic, like I would work out outside. Like I would just go on walks, go on runs, and that was my thing. Like I lost most of my weight that way. And when I was, basically confined to my household,
yeah.
It was like, I don't want to do it, So I gained a bit of weight back, but at the restaurant, like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, man, like, ya no me sirve la ropa.
Yeah. It's a struggle. Yeah, más cuando you're constantly like fluctuating weight, o sea, como que it's crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like I've been fluctuating basically all my life. I've maintained like for a while, like my weight, but after, a while, like I would get lazy and be like, screw this. And all that weight back.
Yeah. Entiendo, fue. A mí me pasó once que llegué a los 190, but then college came y de los 30 subieron rápido. It's crazy. Pero ahora, ever since I stopped drinking soda and eating sugars, pues, sin hacer exercise ni nada, he bajado like 14 pounds.
So, that's good. Yeah.
So necesito que meterle a la rutina right away. Mencionaste you do walk, you do some running. So, ¿qué es lo que hace más o menos? Is it mostly cardio or what?
It's mostly cardio. I do incorporate weights, but I'm trying to incorporate it now as a daily thing as well. But I mostly just focus on walking and then sporadically running like certain distances, you know? And I try to push myself every now and then a bit further because I do have, you know, my kneecaps, they're not the best. Since I was a kid. I've always struggled with that because my kneecap will just get move out of place, so I could fall and whatnot. So that's also a reason of why I kind of limit myself with the running.
Gotcha. Te iba a preguntar, do you also incorporate hiking or no puedes por eso por debajo de?
Like I haven't, but I am open to it. Like I am, because I do enjoy it. Like I enjoy more just being outside, you know, with my headphones, blasting some music and just walking. Yeah. A few weeks ago, I was over at Mayagüez, like I was staying over, and man, like just walking around Colegio, like I would leave the apartment, just walk all the way to Colegio, walk all of Colegio, head back, and that was like 5 point something to like 6 kilometers.
Super dope. That's great, man. Going a little back in the time machine, when we met, ya que mencionas colegio, I met you no solamente through English, pero you were also a musician.
Yeah.
Though I'm not a musician, I'm a big music fan. So te pregunto, how's music and how do you incorporate it into the cooking?
Man. So I haven't played with a band in years, man. It's been, I want to say like 3-4 years. It's been a while. I play every now and then. I try to stay a bit active. I'm not as active as I used to. Like I submerge myself in food. Like my day just goes by. I wake up, I start looking like at stuff on Instagram or YouTube, you know, books and whatnot, and then I actually get behind the stove, you know, and actually cook, and then like edit, do all these other things as well. So sometimes it's a bit hard to manage, you know, to incorporate playing again. But I do stay active listening to artists. I try to stay as active as I can, like trying to find new music. With the videos that I make, I try to look for like more lo-fi-ish stuff. I've been getting into that. Like at first I was like, what is this? You know, like but now I've gotten a taste for it, man. And that's what I mostly try to incorporate in the videos.
Dope. Have you considered, like, ya que you play bass, have you considered in the future maybe adding a few homemade tunes?
That's not a bad idea. Like I would have to at least get a iPad or something in order to like record stuff more comfortably. Because right now, like with Dissident Cuisine, the struggle that I'm having is that I just use my phone.
Oh,
so yeah, like I run out of space all the time on my phone. I have to be like, you know, importing the videos and whatnot, and it drives me insane.
No,
so I definitely need to get or a computer or at least a tablet.
Yeah. Pero poco a poco.
Yeah.
Te pregunto, since you're part-time musician, full-time chef now, or cook, cualquiera de los cacos que te pueda poner, do you follow Action Bronson?
Oh, hell yeah, man. Yeah. He's a beast, man. Like that guy, man, he's been killing it.
Indeed. De hecho, he does the 3 things that you're doing now, like la música de vez en cuando. He's also a chef, pero también ahora está haciendo la weight loss game, so es como que all 3.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like definitely. Like when he started doing it, I was like, man, like I'm so happy for him, you know, because he was a really big guy, you know, and that leads to a lot of like health complications on the long run. Like there's nothing wrong with it, but he's doing it for the right reasons, you know, health. That's the main thing. just trying to be a healthy individual or trying to lead a healthier life. Like you don't need to be, this skinny stereotypical guy to be healthy, because most of those guys aren't, or you don't need to be buff. But it's just a matter of finding that balance of trying to find a healthier lifestyle in order to live a more, healthier life on the long run. Because if we don't take care of our bodies now, when we get old, man,
yeah.
and we're hitting our 30s, so
exactly. You gotta do it now. Gotta do it fast.
Yeah, man. Mm-hmm.
Ya que mencionas que he's a beast, I assume que maybe no sea como con direct inspiration or influence, pero que por lo menos he inspires you or motivates you in some way.
Yeah. I would say so, because he does like making like these huge ass meals, or just indulging in them. Like going to restaurants and being like, "Oh, this is amazing," and it is, like, it looks amazing. That's where I go. Like, even though I am trying to lead a healthier lifestyle, like you'll see me make like these huge burgers, and you're like, "Oh, this guy eats that." No, I don't. I eat like, I'll cut it in half or in 4 pieces and be like, "Here's food."
Exactly.
Exactly. Like, whoever wants to indulge in this, like, man, like, for all means, go ahead. But I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. You do it for the art and for others.
Exactly. Yeah.
Te quería preguntar, ya que he's one of the influences, inspirations, motivations, what other chefs, y ya que también music is a part, what other musicians have also inspired you?
So, chefs, Massimo Bottura. He's this guy from, I think he's Italian. Yeah, like if I'm not mistaken, he's Italian. Like, here's where most like chefs and cooks are gonna, set me on fire. Like, I don't follow most of like traditional cuisine or like traditional chefs. Even though I do appreciate it, I do love like Michelin rated food. Like, it's beautiful. It's art, but I mostly go for whatever I find appealing, like online and whatnot. But Massimo Bottura, like, I love his story on how he developed his art, because for me, culinary arts, even though it is food and you do get to enjoy it and it's something that you eat, for me, it's art, It's a mixture of art and science, because you are transforming things into something else. But at the same time, like how you played it, how you present it is a form of art. So he had this wife or girlfriend at the time. I think they're still together, but at the time, like, girlfriend, I'm sorry. She was in the United States. He was in Europe, and she was into art. So she started taking him to museums and whatnot. And he had this like switch that was like, I could transfer this into a plate, like a lot of the abstract art. And a lot of his dishes do exactly that. Like, he'll just splatter things on a dish and it looks beautiful. Like how he matches like the colors, how he does things with such grace. And you could look at each dish that he makes like for an event. And even though each of them do have slight differences, because you can't recreate that to the same exact level, it is super similar. Like, you'll look at them and be like, wow, how does he do it?
Yeah.
So for a minute, excuse me, he's been a huge inspiration behind that, because even though I don't consider myself like a traditional media artist, I do enjoy that type of art, and seeing him incorporate that into food, that's been a plus.
Gotcha.
And let me.
This guy, does he have an Instagram where I can find his work, or a YouTube?
I don't. He does have an Instagram. You can also find him on the first episode of Chef's Table. Perfect. Like, dude, like, yeah, like if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you look it up and just watch it, because it's his story. It's man, like, it's really good because when he started like blowing up, or when he started attempting to do something, like the food back then was just like, no, you have to do it this way, like this traditional route. And he was like, no, I don't want to do this. Like, I want to do things differently. I want to present things in a different way. So he was highly criticized for his food in his country, you know? But then now he's one of the greatest.
Yeah, he was a punk rock kid.
Yeah.
Gotcha. De hecho, I think you were going to mention other influences.
Yeah. I'm trying to. David Chang, man. David Chang is also someone that I look up to in a way. And dude, that guy has done a lot, from the story of Momofuku opening all these other Momofuku, branded restaurants, even though they are different, to like having his TV shows and doing all these like crazy things. Like, he's also what I aspire to do in a way. Like, I hope to have that opportunity arise at some point, you know?
Gotcha. Te pregunto, is Eddie Huang at all an influence as well? Or no?
I don't know who that is. Maybe if I see a picture.
Lo busco ahora, hombre, que sí. I know from him por este show, Hot Ones. That's where I know him from. So
Okay, yeah. It's the guy, the Asian guy, right?
yeah, okay, he went. Eso es un Hollywood where he started from the end to the beginning, and he regretted it super bad. Te lo enseño aquí un momento, dude. This guy.
Okay, no, it's not who I thought it was.
Yeah.
I'm gonna definitely have to look him up. I did not know about him.
But I believe, si no me equivoco de la interview, he also opened up a few restaurants, pero como que he got involved, como que se vivió mucho la movie de Famous Guy or whatever.
Okay.
He had to reflect on it, y no sé si tuvo que cejar algunos por eso, pero
Okay.
apparently he's a big chef too. No sé, I don't really know that much.
So you know that I know that you follow me on Instagram, but you notice that I do have like a bunch of like burger stuff.
Yeah.
There was this chef, Mike something, I forget his name, but I do remember the restaurant. The place is called Hodad's in California. Like, I haven't gone to the place, but I did get the chance to try his burgers. He did an event in Aguadilla where it was like a private event, and they got me a ticket, and I was like, oh my God, because it was a bunch of chefs that had worked had an episode featured in Dinners, Drive-ins, and Dives. So I was like super stoked. I was like 19, 20, and I was getting to try the meals of like all these chefs that had appeared in, on Guy Fieri's show. And his burgers, man, dude, like hands down the best. Sadly, he passed away like a few years ago.
Oh, dang.
And that was like, I was bummed out because I never got the opportunity to go to California and be like, let me try this, like from his place. But he made burgers. He would make like traditional style burgers, but instead of putting like, 3 slices of bacon or 2 slices of bacon, that sometimes you go to a restaurant and you order it with bacon and you get like 2 pieces and you're like, but what is this?
Yeah.
So me being a young cook at that time and, still not knowing a lot about the industry, even though I did start around 15, man, like seeing him do these like bacon burger patties, like actual bacon patties, it blew my mind. I was like, dude, like, what the heck, So yeah, like he also was a huge influence in what I do,
Gotcha. Y entonces, as far as music, what have been some of your influences or inspirations?
So right now I've been listening to a lot of Spirit Box They're more like a metalcore-ish
Mm.
kind of genty band. Like, dude, Courtney LaPlante, dude, like her vocals. Like, I know I'm not a vocalist, but I appreciate the art. You know, like
There you go.
she could transition, man, from those screams to like that melodic, tone, dude, in a switch. Like, she has this performance. She has a video on YouTube. It's a one take. I think it's from Holy Roller, if I'm not mistaken. And she does it one take, and I'm just like sitting here like, what the hell, man? Like no cuts,
Yeah. Are you even a person?
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, they've been on my to go like everyday workout session, at least part of it. Also, I enjoyed a lot the single from The Devil Wears Prada, like their new stuff. Dude, like I know that this is like they're like old school scene kids, from like 2007 to like 2009. That was like their prime, but their newer stuff, dude, it's insane. Like, it's really good. So I've been listening to them a lot. And Norma Jean, man. Norma Jean, damn. Like, that's a go-to. Aside from that, like my day-to-day favorites, like if you ask me in any day, they're gonna be on my list. I would say Every Time I Die and He Is Legend. He Is Legend, I really like them in the sense that they also have that variety of not just aggressive music, but also like melodic. And they do complement it super well. They're more of a Southern metal-ish kind of vibe. But man, like, yeah.
Gotcha.
And the bass lines, man. The bass lines from them, it's really good.
Are they funky?
He does incorporate a bunch of different elements, man. That's what I like from him. He doesn't just have a particular style that he goes to. He just mismatched like a bunch of stuff and was like, this is my style,
Yeah. Again, going against the wave, making his own style.
Also the bassist from the guy that used to be the bassist from Periphery. I forget his name. But dude, the bass lines from when he was in, damn, man. Like Nolly, I think it was his name, something like that.
Yeah.
But man, definite inspiration.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Going back to food, I have to ask because I have to ask you the first.
I'd go for it. Yeah.
You're the first one in the culinary arts. Que entrevisto, so talk to me about Salt Bay. What's your opinion on it?
Whoa. I was not expecting that at all.
What do you think of his technique? What do you think of his style?
If it works for him, it works for him, But no, just pour it on top. Don't do that.
Exactly. Siempre que lo veo, I'm like, I hope some of that sweat doesn't fall on the food with the salt.
That's called flavor. I'm just kidding.
Or am I? I Salt Bay. So, sticking with food, dude. Ahorita hablamos de Bronson. He's been one who has also written books. Is that a goal that you would like to do in the future?
Man, definitely. Like, I would like to maybe address like the whole transformation of the whole evolution of my cooking from the start of the pandemic to now. Because now, even though back then I was experimenting, there was still a zone of comfort, I was still like in that comfort zone of, this is what I know how to do. I'm just gonna make it look prettier or do these like different things and try maybe 2 or 3 different like excuse me, 2 or 3 different things that I haven't tried, but I wasn't going out of my way to, just do something that I wasn't knowledgeable in, And now, like the other day, like I say the other day, it was like a month ago, I made a dokboki from scratch, man. Like I didn't buy the rice cakes. Like I was like, I'm not gonna find them here. I'm not gonna pay to get them shipped here. I'm gonna look how to make them. And I did just that. Like I saw a few videos. I saw a video from Binging with Babish, and I was like, I'm gonna do this. Screw it. I'm gonna do this. And I went for it, man. And I've been going for things that I haven't done before. Like today's video, I did that came out at 6. I did what's it called? Burajige. That's like army stew food kind of thing. So it's a stew, and there's like this traditional way of doing it, but not really, because everyone does it differently. Everyone incorporates their own thing. I had never done that, even though I don't consider that a recipe. Like I address it in the video. I did try that for the first time. Like there are things I want to do differently, because I didn't include like mushrooms or anything like that to add more umami to it. But it was a nice try. It was a nice attempt of something I hadn't done before.
Gotcha. Just like te gustaría chronicle maybe like beginnings or till now?
Yeah, definitely. It's like maybe go in stages, and probably also do like a small-ish recipe book of what I did back then during the pandemic, because it wouldn't be like standardized recipes, because I wasn't standardizing anything back then. I was just cooking to cook. Yeah. Now I'm standardizing things. Like I'm measuring things, like I'm going to add a teaspoon of this or a tablespoon of that, or half a cup of that, and I try to keep a track of how much I add. It's not that I go with the mindset I'm just going to put this in it. Sometimes I am cooking or making a video, and I'll be like, I'm going to add a bit more of this because the flavor's still not there. And I'll just, at the end result, like during the making of the video, I'll just put the exact amount that I put in, instead of like showing, I put this amount first. But then I edit it, and I went back and put this much amount. So yeah.
Gotcha. Una pregunta que se me surgió ahora, sticking with food still.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico, la cultura, siempre like la comida de mami, la comida de abuela o la comida de tía es la mejor. Me dijiste que you worked at one of your family members' place. Pero te pregunto, aside from that person, did your abuela, tu tía, or your grandmother, or your mama play a role in your love for cuisine?
Yeah. I would say that my grandmother on my dad's side, like since I was a kid, I would get home from school. She was or either cooking, or she already had food made, and that was her love language. And I would consider that to be my love language as well. She would put all this love, like she wouldn't measure anything. It was like traditional cooking, just a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Va a quedar bueno.
Exacto. La clásica.
And and every time she wouldn't fail. Like, man, like I loved everything that she made except bacalaitos. That was the only thing I didn't like from her, man. But she was a huge inspiration, man, because like she made it with love, and that's, I think, the key to working in the food industry. If you're a line cook or a chef, or someone that's working with food, you have to love it. You have to love being there, sacrificing yourself, being there for excruciating hours, man. Like I told you earlier, from 9 a.m., 9 o'clock out straight, no stop. It's go. But it is gratifying, especially like in this last place I worked at, it was an open kitchen. Like, man, like I loved it, because I could see, like, even though there was a rush and I was going back and forth and just trying to get everything done, when there was like a split second of downtime that I could look at the tables, it was so gratifying to see that people were eating something that I put my hand in, you know, in the sense that I a collective. Because the cool thing about that place was that everyone worked as a collective. It wasn't just one person preparing your dish. You know, we were a group of, on a chaotic day, we were a group of 5 in the kitchen. So it was 5 people that one was making one thing, the other one was making the other. And at the end of the day, well, my position was mostly expo, which is just put everything together and make it presentable, you know?
Yeah.
So seeing them enjoying a meal like that, that's super gratifying. So I was like, wait, I sidetracked from what we were talking.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It all connects. It's all about the love language of food.
Yeah, man, it is. And this is something, like, it took me a while, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I worked at this place called Villa Montaña years ago. And I love the experience. Like, I started off after like my cousin's place. That was like the first official like name place. And dude, it was crazy. I got out of that. I ended up working in a food truck for a bit. It was a Korean Mexican fusion. And that was interesting. It was short-lived, but it was interesting. And I definitely picked up a few things, you know? I was like, I'm done, you know, because I had a few other experiences as well that they weren't, you know, as good of experiences. That, you know, I'm not going to mention the places, obviously, because
yeah.
But I had a few places that I didn't like, and I was like, screw this, I'm done. Like, I remember that I had like this green and dark green, like it was like a lighter green and dark green chef coat, and I took it off and I showed my mother, and I was like, this is the last time, like I swear to you, this is the last time I am gonna put this on. Like, I'm never gonna be a chef. Like, I'm done, you know? And that's when I ended up, you know, studying. I was already studying at Cora, you know, getting my degree. And that's what I wanted. But towards the end, like that last year, I was in this like serious relationship, and I would tell the girl, like, man, like I want to go back to cooking. Like, I want to go back to cooking. And there was the support. She was like, man, when you're done, just do that. And when I was done, like, that's exactly what I did. Like, I went back, like I got the opportunity to work at this like really well-known food truck that opened up a lot of doors, in the sense of I got to work at different places. I got to meet all these different people. I also got to work with someone that had a lot of knowledge, you know, and that in a way, like me, could also wing stuff and them come out good, you know?
Yeah.
Because I forgot what we were talking about again.
No, yeah, get like, you got to this place where they give you some form of creative freedom, además de, you know, do what they asked.
So yeah. A lot of the places I've worked at didn't have that vast opportunity to be creative. You know, like I did get to learn. I did get to, you know, expand my knowledge. Like, every restaurant that I visit, and in the sense that I work at, even the good and the bad things, they're learning experiences. That's what matters. You know, like, you are going to gain knowledge of what to do and what not to do. Like in education, when you're doing your practice, you know, like you have this mentor that's teaching you supposedly how you're supposed to do things, but at the end of the day, they're not perfect. They're human as well. So you're going to pick up on the good qualities, and the bad ones, you're going to be like, well, I'm not going to incorporate that in what I do, you know? So I am super grateful of all these places, and yeah.
Yeah, chicos. Así que, como siempre, long journey, se aprende, se desaprende in the process.
Yeah, man. I've been at this I started when I was like 15, so it's been almost 15 years on and off.
De hecho, te quería preguntar, ya que mencionaste eso, based on your experience, like, ¿cómo ves la escena de las artes culinarias? Do you think Should there be more variety? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, there should be more variety. I think that at least here in Puerto Rico, they're focusing too much on comida criolla or giving it that little like fine dining flair, but it's still comida criolla. They're rehashing all these ideas, and you have like 5 or 10 restaurants, let's say in a like a 10-mile radius, and all of them serve the same thing. In different ways. They do have a few different ingredients, but you look at the menus and they're super similar. I think that people in the food industry don't dare to take so much chances when they open a restaurant. Like initially, when they do have that idea of, I'm going to open up a place, I want to do all these things, and they want to start off differently. Like I helped, like I was hired for this restaurant a while back, and I was a sous chef there. We were going to create this menu. We were going to do these, like, we had an amazing menu. And obviously the pandemic, happened and whatnot. So we had to steer off from that plan and do something a bit more budget friendly. But we were still doing something creative. Everyone was on board. Everyone was doing like, oh yeah, this is, like we did a bunch of tastings, like the head chef and I. We created all these dishes. We did, we gave them the food to try, to the owners, their family, like tastings. And last minute, they're like, we're going to change the menu. And I'm like, but we're opening.
Yeah.
Like, we did all this prep work for what we already have, And when I look at the menu, like the head chef goes up to me, he's like, here, this is the menu. And I look at the menu and I look at him and I kid you not, man. Like I was like 2 seconds away of being like, good luck, man. And just stepping out, but I wasn't going to do that, But yeah, that was not, at the end of the day, I ended up leaving like a bunch. It's a long story, but at the end of the day, I felt like I needed to leave, and, they did like pull me apart because I had found another job and I was trying to juggle both jobs. I was, and I was starting off at that other place.
Gotcha.
And it was mostly for knowledge reasons, and they knew, but they didn't feel comfortable about it. So when they pulled me to a side, I was like, yeah, no.
See.
I'm done, and like no hard feelings, but that was not what I wanted to do. That was not the initial concept that we had brought to the table. And that's something that I feel that a lot of the restaurants here need to step out of that mold and get creative,
Yeah.
That's the whole concept of like Dissident Cuisine, man. Like I want to try different things. I want to maybe do some traditional stuff, but I also want to go to the creative side. And that's something that my chef from La Escuela Hotelera, Sebastian Lamer, I still remember this, man, like vividly. The last day of class, like when the last lab was done, he pulled everyone aside, like up front, to compliment them on what they were good at, And he was like, man, you, like when he addressed me, I was like, you are different. Like you have that spark that every kitchen needs, because you don't want to follow the rules. You want to create, you want to do different things and innovate. And that's something that has remained true almost 10 years later,
Breaking the mold, not sticking.
Yeah.
Getting out of the comfort zone, if you will.
Yeah. You have to, because traditional cuisine is amazing. And for me, it's a learning tool, because you do learn how to make things how, traditional cuisine was meant to be made. But it gets to the point where you're going to run out of things. People want to try different things. People want to go to restaurants and be like, that sounds weird. At least from my perspective, maybe not everyone, but I'm one of those guys that if I go to the restaurant, I'm going to look at the menu and be like, okay, what do I like and what do I find weird? And like 90% of the time, I'm not going to go with what I like. I'm going to go with, that's weird. Give me that.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
Give me the new experience.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Because there's such a vast space to explore. You know, it's cooking as a playground. Like if you, in my case, I don't have like all these fancy equipments and whatnot, but you could get equipment, you could do all these different things. And even without the equipment, you know, like you could experiment and just venture out there and have your own unique concept. And that's what I strive for on the long run. Like maybe you'd be like, oh, it's a comfort food place, or maybe, oh, it's an Asian place. Yeah, but it is going to have elements of it that are going to make it stand out.
Obligado. Dude, estamos casi terminando. Pero before that, social media, para que la gente sepa.
Okay, so you can find me over on Instagram with Dissident Cuisine. I'm usually mostly active with my food content there. You could also find me on TikTok with Dissident Cuisine and YouTube. Like right now on Instagram, I'm trying to remain active, posting Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. On YouTube every Thursday at 6. And TikTok, I'm still playing around with that. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm still getting used to it. But man, right now, like TikTok is helping a lot of like food content creators. Like it grows so fast. Like my food page, Dissident Cuisine, is not, you know, it's taken a while to grow. Like, it has, especially like not having, you know, like traditional food or whatnot. Like, you know, maybe getting creative with comida criolla. Like my center has been just let's create, let's be creative, let's do these different things, or maybe let's do this like traditional ish dish, you know. But it's to learn.
Yeah.
It's taken a while to grow, and especially when I took that break when I was working at the restaurant, that definitely like pulled back a bit. But TikTok, like I haven't had that open this maybe 2-3 months. And when I look at it, I'm like, dude, like it took me almost a year to get to that amount of following.
Yeah.
You know, Dissident Cuisine, like I'm exaggerating it a bit, but you know, like there was an initial push over at TikTok.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
it's the tool of the new generation, man.
Yeah, it took me a minute to get used to it though, because it's like go. You know, like the attention span right now with like TikTok is just horrible. Like it's 15 seconds, 30 seconds, or like 60 seconds, you know, like that's the usual range. Like you can't surpass a minute. And I'm like, really? Like a minute? Like that's it?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely been a challenge, but it's also good because it's also taught me to edit my videos on YouTube and edit out a lot of the things that even though I find is a cool shot, but that cool shot lasts like 30 seconds. And I'm like, no. Like, you know, grab the interesting part of the shot. That's it.
Exacto. Que te ha ayudado en el editing part y también adapting to the new platform, of course.
No, definitely. The whole like trying to do like, you know, being an online chef and creating content for an online audience is definitely an experience, because I'm not just cooking, you know, like I'm doing the prep, I'm cooking, I'm washing the dishes, but I'm also my own cameraman, my own audio man, lighting, photographer, man, like, and I do everything myself. You know, that's the amount of work that goes into it. Sometimes I'm like, wow, what did you get yourself into?
But hey, what's more punk rock than that?
Hey, yeah, no, and definitely the original concept behind Dissident Cuisine was to get a group of people involved. But you know, since the whole pandemic thing, And, even though it was conceived during the pandemic, it's been tough to actually collaborate with other like chefs or foodies. Like I did collaborate with one or two, if I'm not mistaken, but I haven't gotten the chance to actually do it as much as I want to. Because I would eventually love, like, once the page gets to grow enough, I would love to have a group of people, that also gets to be a part of it, not just maybe cooking, but also trying the food, also, maybe, putting out their point of view of what they liked about the meal or not, having people like take pictures, do video. Like I had a friend that she did, you had her here, Emily Rodriguez, if I'm not mistaken. Melange art or something like that. I'm sorry, I'm not plugging in her name right.
Don't worry. She knows.
But yeah. So she did. I went to her apartment like this one time, and I made gnocchis. So she made the video. Like she recorded everything. She edited it. She put the audio in it, and my current style is heavily influenced on that video that she made. So I have had the opportunity, but I still want to get like maybe a more stable group of people that want to be a part of it. But it's tough because I can't be like, man, you want to be a part of this, and be like, hey, I can't pay you right now, Like, yeah, all these hours you're gonna do here, well, you're gonna have food, which some people are okay with, but other people are gonna be like, fuck that.
Exactly. I have a friend who would actually love to do it, but she's more of a, she did help como que fundar la revista Her Campus en el colegio.
Okay.
And her thesis and dissertation are both related to food and their impact on Puerto Rican culture, si no me equivoco, or Caribbean.
Ooh, that would definitely be interesting to have a chat with her, man. That's nice.
I can send her, obligarle por enviar tu page y maybe connect somehow.
Vale, that would be super interesting.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Ella ahora mismo está in the US, pero, bouncing ideas or,
Yeah.
That's super cool. Te quería preguntar algo before closing. Yes. That Hot Ones challenge, the 10 sauces. Are you willing to go through that pain? Or have you done it?
Well, I haven't done it yet, but I would definitely love it. I think I would do all right. After the last place I worked at, dude, like they had this dish before I left. Like they changed the menu, and I got to try one of the new dishes. Dude, like that thing was so spicy. And I'm a spicy food lover. Like, dude, I'll eat anything spicy, just to try it and be like, okay, because there's a difference. Like you could have like all this heat, but is it flavorful?
Yes.
Yes.
Because
it could have all that heat, but at the end of the day, I'm looking for flavor. So I'm always curious. I'm like, are they going to pull it off? Because sometimes they do sacrifice a lot of flavor just to get all that spice in.
Yeah, de hecho, after watching Hot Ones for so many years now, creo que eso siempre es el problema con The Bomb, la número 8, que it tastes like garbage, but it's super spicy. So
yeah, and they actually have like that one, if I'm not mistaken, the one that they make for the show is especially for the show. They have a line that they sell commercially, but if you want to go buy it like at a store, like their store, you have to ask for it. Be like, no, I want the one from Hot Ones, because if not, you're gonna get another one.
Gotcha. Yo sé que they made like 3, que son como que la primera, la quinta y la décima.
Yeah, they have a few.
Yeah,
but that last dab, I'm dying to try that shit, man.
Let's get the milk in here. Let's get the ice cream in here. Let's die together. Sacrifice the booty for it.
Did you get to see the one with Steve-O, like the newest one?
Yeah, se lo puso en el ojo. Crazy, man, as always.
Yeah, I was like, dude, like, man, why? Just why? Like, I get it, but damn.
Gotta do it for the fans, man. Gotta do it for the fans.
Mhm.
You know how Steve is. You know how Steve is.
Oh yeah, he's never gonna change, man.
Exactly. At least he changed something for the better, which is he got sober. So
Yeah. No, that's something that definitely, like, man, that must have taken a lot of courage and a lot of energy, man. Because once you're hooked, like, that's tough. Like, it's I don't know if you've seen Philip Anselmo's from Pantera,
oh
his
yeah.
video on sobering up.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's he's giving this lecture, I think is in Cambridge or something like that. Um and he's talking about like going through rehab, being, before the whole rehab thing, like, pushing away the band members. Like, one of the albums he recorded it, I think it was in New Orleans, the rest of the band was in Texas, and he was just waking up. He would wake up, dope up, go buy more dope, get home, dope up, go to sleep, wake up, dope up, and that was like his, like, I'm paraphrasing it a bit, but yeah, like, he was constantly just on it. So knowing that he did that, Steve-O, like, he got to sober up, like, that's cool, man. Because yeah, that would have been, it would have been sad that he would have continued to live that life.
Yeah, verdad que sí.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, o sea, due to excessive alcohol and driving, pues, por eso fue que pasó lo de Ryan Dunn. So, y Steve was on the same path too before that.
Yeah,
So
man.
it's good
Yeah,
to
like,
know he's sobered up.
the one that's still struggling is Bam, man. Like,
Yeah,
he's still, yeah.
so
Yeah, that's been crazy.
yeah. Hopefully, por lo que yo he visto, like his kid and his wife son como que lo mantienen ahí.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that'll help him along the way. Y pueda sober up again.
Yeah. It's like the one that comes to mind aside from them, from like the music industry, is Johnny Craig, the original vocalist, like streaming vocalist from Dance Gavin Dance. I mean, clean vocalist. I'm sorry, the one that had like the clean vocals. Like, dude, he was kicked out of Dance Gavin Dance for drug abuse, I think twice. He did Amorosa for a bit, and I think they kicked him out as well for drugs. I could be, wrong with the information, but yeah, he struggled with that for a long time. And that guy is like super talented, man. Like, he has a really good voice, but man, that shit just keeps haunting him.
Yeah. La pregunta también sería, did it come with the industry or was it there before? Is it something that came de la familia? That's another thing. Porque por lo menos de parte de Steve, according to his story, his entire side from his mom's side, like, como que they're all alcoholics. Y han muerto de eso for some reason or another.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Like, that's information that I'm learning right now, man. That's tough.
Yeah,
and it is, because for my case, I've had family members that have had struggled with alcohol, and it's always tough seeing them in that spot. So like, when people get to sober up and lead that life, that's great, because there's nothing wrong with, consuming alcohol or other substances that you might indulge in. But, if you lose control of that, that's when it's bad, because alcohol and regular, like, I'll have a drink or two every now and then, but yeah, not leading it to the whole abuse thing.
Yeah. Dude, before closing, again, on social media, so people know.
Okay, so guys, you could find me over on Dissident Cuisine, on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You could find me most active on Instagram. I usually post when I'm working in the kitchen. I'll start posting stories, like hinting what's coming up for the page. I post usually Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. On YouTube, I post on Thursdays. And TikTok, we're still working on that. And if you want to follow me on my personal page, I do have a page called Buddhist Chef _PR, if I'm not mistaken. I don't recall the handle as well, but yeah, you'll see a picture or whatnot. So
Perfect, bro. Perfect. First off, Mano, thank you for saying yes.
no problem. Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, dude. Segundo, salud, especially in these weird times.
Likewise, man.
Y tercero, pa'lante, dude. Me encanta lo que estás haciendo with the food. And I know that you have the potential to continue growing in the different avenues that food can open up.
Thanks, man.
Be it a restaurant, be it a show, be it a book, what have you.
Yeah, no, man. I really appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's something that, not everyone gets to find like their true calling on what they want to do. And I feel privileged enough to, it took me a while, but I realized that food is what I like and food is what I like to do, so I hope that, the people that are listening or watching, like if you want to give it a shot, head on over. I am trying to create content that, even though it is creative, it's also accessible for people to create at home. So if you like food or enjoy food whatsoever, head on over, check it out. I would definitely love for, you guys to check what I'm doing. And I appreciate the support, Fen. I also really, sorry, give me a minute.
Don't worry.
There we go. I also really like what you do. I do follow your podcast on Spotify, and every now and then I'll just listen to the people that I do find super interesting. You have a few that man, I love what you're doing with exposing artists from different medias, just from music to traditional forms of art, and thank you for having me, being a different form of art,
Thanks, dude. Thanks. His name is Josh Cruz. Follow him, Dissident Cuisine, on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. My dude, again, thanks for saying yes. Almost said.
Oh, thank you for having me.